I need y'all to look at me. Look at me. This is the face of a man who has been waiting 3 years since the announcement, trailer. I have a reaction video. Probably you gonna see it up here, pop up sometime. I have waited 3 years to play this game. I am so excited to find. I even have my Jade Cargill shirt on. Cause this is about to be undefeated. It's not even sponsored. This is me. This is all me. You know what? I'm gonna thank my sponsor, me, Vox Million, Vox from Non-Canon Crew. Anyway, let's hop into this. We got some stuff to go over. We're gonna go over the visuals. We're gonna go over the gameplay. We're gonna go over everything. Now, before I jump into this game, I want to give you a little bit of background on AEW Fight Forever. When the game was announced back in 2020, you had Kenny Omega, who was delivering the information on the game. It said it was going to be very akin to the No Mercy games from Nintendo 64, which, if you ask any wrestling fan or anybody that's a fan of wrestling games in general, it's up there as far as like the best wrestling games of all time. Very interactive gameplay, the story mode, which still progressed even if you lost, which is still cool to even think about till today. It was just all around a fun, great game to play with your friends and enjoy solo sessions. Now, given that great comparison by Kenny Omega, you start to think, can AEW actually lace the boots of No Mercy? I mean, we were talking about wrestling games. These are some of the main things that I look forward to. Everything else outside of that, character creation, creating your own arena, things like that, doesn't matter to me too much. As long as the gameplay and the visuals look great, we're in. Now, a lot of people are kind of on the fence about how they feel about the art direction of the wrestlers in AEW Fight Forever. Some people love the cartoonish look, and some other people preferred more of a realistic approach. Me personally, I love the cartoonish look. It gives the game character, and it makes AEW Fight Forever stand on its own two legs instead of being like another WWE 2K ripoff. So when I finally booted up the game, I was immediately greeted by the soundtrack that was created and possibly curated by Mikey Ruckus. If you're not familiar with Mikey Ruckus, he's created a lot of the themes that you hear today in AEW. And when you are greeted by the main menu, it gets right to the point. Do you want to play right now? Do you want to customize your character? You want to hop online, do rank matches? What do you want to do? And you have all these options right in front of you without having to be this splash screen that we normally see in video games. It's just right there. You can get to it right away, and you're even greeted by your favorite wrestler or your last played wrestler. Going through the roster, I noticed that everyone was unlocked immediately, and I thought for a while that everyone was unlocked until I went to the AEW store in game and saw that Cody Rhodes and Aubrey Edwards were the only two wrestlers that were unlocked. They're pretty easy to unlock early on. Just play a couple matches and you should have enough money to do so. Now, the gameplay is where AEW Fight Forever stands out. When the game was announced, it was said that it was going to be very similar to how No Mercy was played, which is more of an arcadey style. And that is exactly what you're getting with this game. It's sorry to disappoint anyone that was looking towards an interactive tutorial like we've seen in other games where it kind of holds your hand and guides you through the process. This one is more met with a bunch of different cards and talking heads. You can go through the tutorials individually. You can't necessarily play while you're learning. However, when you are playing a match for the first time, and I think unless you turn it off, there will be game hints that are given to you as far as how to grapple an opponent, how to hit an opponent, or even to reverse or even Irish whip. Now, the gameplay is very similar to No Mercy, where you have your attacking buttons, you have your grab, but you have a strong grab as well. Now, depending on which direction that you input after grabbing an opponent, will select a different wrestling move. You still have your blocking and reversal buttons. Both are regulated to either shoulder, or there's even an accessibility option just to put it all in one. Now, if you decide to do that, then it can cause little issues. It probably won't hit all the time because you would have consolidated both the grapple and strike reversal into one button. Now, when I first started playing, just like I'm sure most of you have, that it didn't go exactly the greatest, because I'm sure you tried to use the same controls that you were used to from other games and it didn't quite work out. I know I got my ass handed to me. I'm not even ashamed to say it. Something that I noticed while I was playing that was very interesting that I haven't really seen in too many games is that your player can actually get injured. Now, in previous games, it's not that big of a deal. Like, you'll work a body part and it gets red or purple or grayed out. But in this game, it actually will announce that your player has been injured, and you can see that there's a steady decline in how the player interacts with things, how they get out of the ring, how they run. It's actually pretty cool. Now, you can change obviously remap the controls if you want, but if you're gonna stick to the original controls, just know it's gonna be a little difficult for you trying to remember how this game works, especially if you're going back and forth between two wrestling games. Another thing that I found interesting is that there are no attributes in the game. So there's no overall score of like 91, a 90, 87. There's none of that. Each one of the characters are how they are. You can have Hikaru Shida fight Kenny, as we've seen in some of the trailers before. Any character can fight any character. To me, this is good news. Now, a lot of people might not like that too much, that there isn't an overall score, but I love the fact that I can play with a wrestler and not have to worry if they're gonna be demolished by the other wrestler that I choose to play against. Everyone has a fighting chance, and it really just comes down to how good are you at the game. You have a variety of matches ranging from one-on-one to exploding barbed wire death matches. You pair this with an uncanny amount of weapons, including thumbtacks, then you have a recipe for a 5-star match. But if you ever get the chance, play the exploding barbed wire death match. That has got to be the most fun that I've had in a wrestling game in a long time. Just seeing the animations, people exploding, that 120-second timer, as soon as that runs out, everything explodes. Ridiculous. I thought the match was going to end after that, but it just kept going. You can just keep throwing your opponent into the ropes, making them explode, cuts all over the body, all over the face. It's ridiculous. And if you are a fan of barbed wire matches, you will not be disappointed, unlike some of us, at a certain match that happened between Kenny and Jon Moxley. Now, if you are a fan of the channel, I know you've been waiting for this part. It's talking about the character creation. Now, with the character creation, lower your standards. I had to as well, which is why I was able to protect myself. If you're expecting WWE 2K levels of character creation, bring it back. Pull it back. Lower those expectations a little bit, probably down to WWE Battlegrounds. The creator wrestler materials are pretty limited, especially when it comes to body parts, facial features, even tattoos. You can't really choose where you want to have a tattoo in your body. Most of the time it's going to be doubled instead of just being on one arm or one leg. So these are things that you're going to have to be looking out for, but you pretty much see that as you're going through the creation process. I do hope in the future that they add more character creation options, but right now it's kind of limited. Even when you're selecting your moveset, you can see that with certain characters, they have a long list of signature moves and finishers, but when you're creating your wrestler for the first time, you only get one of each. Now, the idea behind this is that when you're playing Road to Elite, the career mode of the game, you start to open those up and you start to unlock those areas for yourself to be able to add more signatures and finishers because you become more of an experienced wrestler. You can see some of the experience that you gain through the career mode based off of the time that you spend wrestling. Over the past couple of days, I've seen the reviews and they are mixed. A lot of people like the game, a lot of people don't like the game. I would say this game really boils down to two things, or two people. For those who are looking for more of a gameplay focused game, and for those who are looking for more of a creator driven game. And unfortunately, those creator driven people are not going to have too much fun with this game as opposed to the people who are just coming in, picking their favorite wrestler and just getting right into the fight. I understand both sides. I understand why folks wouldn't like the game because the character creation is slacking a little bit and it doesn't really provide a value. Some people even question why it's even in there. But the other side really loves the gameplay, really loves the characters, all of the matches that have been included, even the mini games. So honestly, with my first impression of the game, I'm enjoying it. I'm having fun. I understood what the game was supposed to be when it came out. I know it's supposed to be this arcadey game. I love the gameplay. I love the cartoony visuals. I love all of that. I love the matches. I love the weapons. I love every part of the gameplay experience. And that is what AEW Fight Forever is set out to do. Give you a variety of matches, give you a variety of weapons for you to create the best match, the best dream match that you can, have endless hours of fun playing their game. And that is exactly what I feel like they succeeded in doing. I'm having fun. Now on the other side of that, I don't think it should have been full price. I think it should have been maybe like $10 or $20 less. So if you're asking my opinion on it, I would wait until it gets a little bit cheaper before you decide to spend money on it. Unless you're a big fan of AEW and you're a big fan of wrestling games, go ahead and buy it anyway. I don't think it's a bad investment. But if you did not enjoy the game, tell me why in the comments below. What didn't you like about the game? Did you have a favorite part of the game that you absolutely love? Is there something that this game can do better for AEW Fight Forever 2, maybe? Thanks for watching, everyone. And as always, I'm your boy Vox. Don't forget to like and share the video and subscribe to the channel and turn on that bell so you know when I'm dropping the next video. And I'll see you next time.